Hello, ladies, and welcome back to Neurospicy Noel. I am your neurodivergent life coach, and we've made it to the 6-month update. This is where the transformation really started kicking off and the results started coming through. I'm starting with the blood work. Now, that may be a little bit kind of a harder video because we're going to be talking about medical acronyms, but I've now had 3 rounds of labs with the result. I have one more lab underway and should have the results next week. So I'll do a quick update on that one. Now with these 3 rounds of lab works, I can compare where I started, what changed, and where I am today. Think of your blood work as a report card for your body. My blood sugar has improved enough that I'm no longer in the pre-diabetic range. My cortisol is normalized, and we're still watching my cholesterol, but I know a lot of people are doing that too. It's because I'm not exercising as much. My thyroid medication was adjusted. We're also tracking the autoimmune activity connected to my thyroid. My TPO antibodies went from 444 to 424 to 410. Before I started with the functional, and my last blood work from before 2023 actually was 386. So something happened between there and January, and now I've just been able to continue to reduce those numbers. My doctor wants me to get under 100, which is still not a normal range, but we're moving in the right direction, and numbers matter. If something improves significantly, I want to know what I've been doing that might be contributing to that change. If something suddenly jumps 100 points in the wrong direction, I want to know that too. It gives me a reason to stop and look at what's happening in my body, research it, and talk to my healthcare provider. Today, I'm going to show you the blood work that I have been watching, what these crazy medical terms actually mean, and how you can start to understand your own numbers in your blood work. You don't need medical training. If you have AI and your blood work in hand, you can take a picture of it and upload it and ask it to send you official medical sites that talk about these blood results and blood work. This is not to make you become a hypochondriac. This is to give topics of conversation so you can speak intelligently with your doctor, get your questions together, and also kind of ground yourself in some knowledge so that you know what the doctors are talking about. The first one you'll hear a lot of is FSH. That stands for follicle stimulating hormone. FSH is produced by your pituitary gland in your brain. Think of it as one of the signals your brain sends to your ovaries. As ovarian function changes during menopause, FSH often rises because your brain is sending a stronger signal. Next is estradiol. Estradiol is the main form of estrogen during our reproductive years. During the menopausal transition, those levels can change dramatically. Then there's progesterone. Progesterone changes as ovulation becomes less frequent during the menopausal transition. You may also see testosterone, SHBG, or DHEA-S listed in your blood work, depending on what your provider is monitoring. Here's what I want you to start doing. Know your numbers. Ask for copies of your blood work and keep them. Months from now, you'll want to be able to look back and see what's changed. Now let's talk about thyroid, because a lot of women come on the other side of menopause having some thyroid issues, which your menopause symptoms could be masking. It's kind of what happened to me. Your thyroid is that little butterfly-shaped gland in the front of your neck, a small gland with a huge job. It plays a major role in how your body uses energy. The first number most people recognize is TSH. That stands for thyroid stimulating hormone. TSH is actually produced by your pituitary gland in your brain. It's part of the communication system telling your thyroid how much hormone your body needs. Then we have T4, also called thyroxine. And there's also T3, and I'm going to try to pronounce this. It's really hard. Triiodothyronine. Now you can laugh at me. I give it my best shot. I'm not a medical doctor. And that is a mouthful. So we're just going to call that sucker T3. T4 and T3 are thyroid hormones. When I look at my blood work now, I'm not just looking for the word thyroid. I'm looking for which thyroid tests were actually done and how those numbers are changing over time. Now we get to one of the most important numbers I've been tracking, TPO antibodies. TPO stands for thyroid peroxidase. TPO antibodies are associated with autoimmune thyroid disease, including Hashimoto's. And I want to pause right here for a minute before I jump into what those numbers were again. I found out with my first doctor's visit in January that my endocrinologist before had misdiagnosed me. So for that whole 2.5 years, I thought I had hypothyroidism, which is an underfunctioning hormonal function. I actually have Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disorder where my immune system is attacking my healthy cells. My doctor told me, here's your hypothyroidism printout. Don't get it confused with Hashimoto's because you don't have that. Come to find out I did. And it started to explain everything. It's like the pieces of the puzzle were starting to fit. So again, my numbers were 444 starting this year. The next blood work 424 and most recently 410. And that is movement in the right direction. And I will take that any day. Does 410 mean I'm finished? No. Doctor wants me to get below 100, and I think 39 or 59 is normal. Depends on the lab equipment of those doing the test. But it tells me something that we're doing may be helping. And if so, I want to know what's helping and take a deeper look. I want to find out, what did I change in my diet? What changed with the medication? What supplements did I change? Was I sleeping all right? Was there more stress happening? How was I feeling during that period of 30 to 60 days in between the blood test? How I'm using my blood work is I measure, I compare, I research, I ask questions, and I adjust with my healthcare team. And then I measure again. I put all of those blood work results into AI and I had it build me a PDF. And here's something that I wish I had understood sooner. There isn't just one thyroid number. There isn't just one test. We've talked about TSH, free T4, free T3, TPO, but there's other tests that just don't come up on a regular panel. So this changed the question I started asking. Instead of, hey, did you check my thyroid? I ask, what thyroid markers did you test? Now that you've been able to look through your blood work and hopefully have a little bit better understanding, you can have some questions you can take back to your healthcare provider and have a more in-depth, serious conversation about your health instead of a Band-Aid service. So next up, I'm going to talk about nutrients, because that's another area of the blood work that they will investigate in your symptoms. If you're exhausted, extremely foggy, your hair is falling out, or it's even changing the way it looks, I struggle to concentrate, and my mood fluctuated too extreme. Unfortunately, your body doesn't send you a notification saying, today's exhaustion is brought to you by low iron. Wouldn't that be convenient? Depending on your symptoms and health history, your provider may look at things such as vitamin B12, folate, vitamin D, and then there's your iron status. One marker you may see is ferritin. And ferritin is a protein that stores iron, so it gives information about your body's iron stores. Your provider may also want to look at nutrients such as magnesium, zinc, or selenium. That's one that she's added to my diet because it helps with thyroid hormone absorption. So again, it all depends on your individual need. And again, I highly recommend that you work with a trained or licensed professional, whether it be your endocrinologist, a functional medicine, a nutritionist, somebody who specializes in your diagnosis. Maybe you thought everything you were feeling, it's all menopause. Your blood work might give you another area to investigate. I wish I had paid attention to my numbers a little closer. Now we're zooming out, not just talking menopause. I'm tracking my body through menopause. One marker I've been watching is A1C, also called hemoglobin A1C. A1C gives us information about the average blood glucose over roughly the previous few months. I was previously in the pre-diabetic range. I'm not anymore. I have healthy insulin ranges. That's progress I can actually see in my blood work. Then there's a lipid panel. That's where you'll usually see total cholesterol. We're going to skip over that because I'm going to involve y'all in helping me to reduce those numbers through more dedicated movement and exercise. I don't like exercise. And there's two more abbreviations that you're going to see all over your blood work are CBC and CMP. Now, CBC means complete blood count. It gives you information about the different parts of your body, including the red blood cells, white blood cells, hemoglobin, and many others. CMP means comprehensive metabolic panel. That includes information related to things like glucose, electrolytes, kidney function, liver-related markers, and proteins. These aren't specifically for menopause or thyroid tests, but they do give you a broader view of what's happening through your body and seems to be on a common blood panel. Your hormones don't exist in one little box. Your thyroid doesn't exist in another. Your body is interconnected. I want to see the bigger picture, and so that's what I did. This is why having 3 rounds of blood work has been so valuable to me. 1 blood draw gives me a snapshot, a baseline. 3 give me a timeline and a pattern. I can see here's where I started, here's what's improved, and here's what stayed about the same. It still shows me what needs and my Hashimoto TPO numbers. But then I look at what changed during that same period. Medication, hormone medication, taking things out of my diet, so a new nutritional plan. Supplements were swapped out. I've added more movement. I make sure that I get a good 3 to 4 hours of deep sleep. I'll try to target 4, but more than likely I get 3 or a little over, which is good. I look at my lifestyle. Have I been pushing myself too hard? If something changes dramatically, I've got somewhere to start looking. I've got questions to research. I've got the knowledge and I now know what I need to do. It's no longer a guessing game. That's why I keep my blood work, and that's why I keep getting my blood work. It's my body and it's my data. Here's what I want you to do. Go find your last blood work. If you've got your blood work from 6 months ago or a year, find that too, put them aside. What hormone markers were checked? What thyroid markers were checked? What nutrients? What's happening with your blood sugar? Do you see an improvement? Do you see a move in the wrong direction? What changed in your life significantly? Write down those questions those numbers created and take all those questions to your healthcare provider. You don't need to become a doctor. You need to become literate in your own health information. I don't want you to just hear, your numbers look good. I want you to know which numbers. What are they measuring? Where were they 6 months ago, and why are they measuring them today? What outcomes are you wanting in your health based on the new data points you have? That's my health report card. Track it, compare it, and learn from it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video on the blood work and what does it mean. I created y'all a lovely PDF, which is in the description. It shows a picture of the body, where the hormones are found from, where the tests you should take, so that you can print that out and have a conversation with your doctor. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. So if I have helped you today in some small form, please give me a like, subscribe, and follow. I'm really trying to build this community because it is my backup plan. I'll see you in the next video.